Damn, y'all, I haven't even used that intro since like my first Share Factory upload for my PS4. Anyway, my name is Ed0626, and today I'm playing Battlefield 1 on the newly released maps from the Turning Tides DLC. These maps focus on the North Sea campaigns between Britain and the German Empire. And I'll get to my thoughts in a few minutes, but I do want to discuss the overall way DICE and EA handled the map pack in general. To be honest, this has to be the most poorly handled map pack since, in all honesty, a lot of these DLCs have been poorly handled. For one, DICE, DICE released two maps about 3 months apart, almost 3 months apart from each other. Or like I think it was Novell Nights with They Shall Not Pass was released about 3 or 4 months after it was released, and then the month after that, Pre's Date to Her, which is garbage, was released. So they added those maps. You know, it added more to the map pack, but I think the maps, those two maps were kind of meh compared to what the other They Shall Not Pass maps offered. In addition to that, I'll also say that the handling of In the Name of the Tsar was poor because of how late that was released. That was released in September, and despite getting a few new maps here and there during the summer, it was just terrible the way that was handled. And now with Turning Tides, our third DLC pack, they once again handle the situation poorly. They released two maps only, focusing on the Gallipoli campaign, and because of that, a lot of people were kind of, like, what the hell? Only two maps? When you have servers that only have two maps involved in them, that's a little bit of a bitch, in my opinion. It's a little bit of a pain. It's kind of a fuck you to the player that, DICE kind of gave us there. But, now we have Helgoland and Zeebrugge. These have been released, I'd say, a week too late. Because, in all honesty, these should have been released January 22nd. They released January 30th, and a week difference may not be much to some people, but to me it was kind of something, because I really think that these should have been released the sooner the better, because a lot of people were probably already tuned out to this DLC when they heard only two maps were being released from the get-go. So the fact that these maps were released later than they should have been, like I said before, they should have been released to begin with at first, from the very beginning anyway. But, I guess it was only they wanted to add something to the fact that they had this new weapons patch, which I don't like whatsoever. For one reason and one reason only. It made a lot of guns powerful, and a lot of these guns should have been powerful, and I understand where DICE was going with the direction that they wanted this, new patch to go with the weapons. The LMGs are a bit more powerful now, which is good. The medic weapons are very good now. They not like some of them were already good, but I think this new patch is going to allow these some of the guns to be used a lot more than they already were. But on the assault side, the Hellriegel shows the biggest difference in how the weapons patch has gone. And I'll tell you why. Because the Hellriegel is incredibly over-fucking powered. When I was playing this, I recorded this in one day. As I was playing this, every time I died, or most of the times I died even after I stopped recording, came to the Hellriegel. They did something to buff these things, and I don't know what they did, but I don't think it was their intention. But whatever they did, they buffed the fucking Hellriegel, and more people are going to abuse it more than they already have been. The Hellriegel is powerful as it is, but now it's just ridiculous, and I think DICE really fucked up. Anyway, that's enough ranting. I want to talk to you guys about Helgoland first, which is what you're watching right now. Helgoland, in my opinion, is one of the most vehicle-centered maps in this entire game. I know there are some infantry maps that focus a lot on tank warfare, and I know there are some maps that have no vehicles whatsoever, but this, in my opinion, is the best we're going to get from any type of naval warfare in any type of game. Call of Duty or Battlefield or any other older shooters that may or may not have tried this in the past but failed. I know Battlefield 4 had something similar when it came down to Battlefield 4 had something similar to this when they released the Naval Strike DLC, but that was it wasn't super boat focused. But this is the best naval warfare is going to get in any first-person shooter game, in my opinion. For Christ's sake, we have two dreadnoughts slugging it out. When I first heard that, I said to myself, "Holy shit! These boats are going to just slug it out against each other." And to be honest, that really didn't happen in this game because this one dreadnought that I'm trying to attack, this one dreadnought, all it was trying to do was stay out of bounds so the boats couldn't hit it. Which is what you kind of noticed a little bit beforehand. But, yeah, that was a bit of a pain. And I'd take out that guy somehow by him trying to ram me. I don't understand. Dice logic, I guess. But, honestly, this map is probably the best of the two, in my opinion. And I'll tell you, and like I said, it's very vehicle-oriented. From planes to boats to dreadnoughts to destroyers, which are in the airships that they added in. I haven't tried the airship yet, but I have tried the destroyer, as you've seen, and it's pretty fucking nuts. And honestly, my only criticism of this map in particular is how the infantry side of things is handled. In my opinion, the only way you can even travel to any side of the map is via boat or plane. There is no other reason. There's no reason to try and run and swim across the entire map to get to a flag that you want to capture or defend. It's just not logical at that point. That's the only excuse me. That's the only downfall that this map has, is the fact that it's not super infantry, focused. I understand, that I know how I said that this is the most vehicle-centered or vehicle-oriented map probably in the whole game, but at the same time, there needs to be a design factor that caters to the infantry players that don't want to play as a boat all the time, which is what I kind of did in this game. But like I said, it's just how the map is developed. They're not developed. It's just how the map is designed that makes it do that. I don't know. It's probably just my opinion. You can disagree with me if you want. But regardless of what I've just said, Helgoland Bight is by far the best of the two maps that was dropped. Now, coming up here, we have a map called Zeebrugge, or Zeebrugge. I don't fucking know. I don't speak German. But I can tell you right now that this map is not my favorite of the two. And I can tell you why. Because for some reason, I just don't like how linear it is. I know there are some maps out there, and as you can see, it's coming up. But I know there are some maps out there that are, incredibly linear. Suez, Argonne Forest. Oh God, I know there's more that's escaping me. But this map is really just meh. For the most part, it's just fighting on some sort of boat, or is it a boat? I don't even know what this is. I think it's like some sort of dock, or I don't even know. I think it's a dock. And that's basically what this map is focused on. That's it. Most of the flags are on this, are on this area. There's a capture flag on a little destroyer that's not playable, and I don't like it. I don't like how it's placed. I don't like how big the capture point is. I don't like how you can't capture it with a boat. But it's whatever, because you actually have to climb on the physical destroyer itself. Yeah, and then there's this one, flag that's, all the way in the back, and it's just sitting there and just, it's pointless. It's pointless to run all the way back because there's a bridge that is broken, and you have to swim across to get to the other side. Now, that's cool and all, but for fuck's sake, poor design on the A flag, though. And for the record, both these maps are Conquest Assault. I personally am not a super huge fan of Conquest Assault. I don't like how how a team is kind of disadvantaged from the get-go when it comes to gaining tickets, even though they have all the tickets. And but it's also fair at the same time. I may not like it, but it's also fair because it caters to the fact that if the team is defending, start them off with X amount of tickets. That's good. I like that idea. But I don't know, something about it I just don't like. There's nothing fun in just sitting there if you're defending, trying to defend the flags the whole time. I'm a PTFO guy. I like to capture. So maybe attacking the flags is probably my fun part. the fun part for me. But when I get there, guess what happens? There's a fuck ton of defenders already there, probably. So in that aspect, I'm not a huge fan of Conquest Assault. This map, in terms of vehicles, is also kind of vehicle-centered. There's destroyers, there's the airship, there's the boats. But I don't think they're as prevalent on this map. I think compared to Heligoland Bight, this is definitely the more infantry-based of the two. But do I think Zeebrugge does a good job with how naval warfare is? Yes and no, because, I don't know, something about this just didn't add up to me. I feel like for the most part, when I was in a boat, whether I was in the gunner or the driver, I felt like I was chasing boats, trying to find boats. I don't know if the other team gets any boats or whatever, but it really didn't show it to me in this game. This is probably the only game I played of it, but I can tell you just from one time playing it, I can already tell what my my thoughts and opinions are of this map. As I said before, there's a huge cluster of my teammates here, which once again caters to the fact that this map is definitely a little bit more infantry focused than Heligoland Bight. And to be honest with you, the night maps aren't even my favorite in Battlefield 1. You know, Prise de Terreur is still garbage to me, regardless of no matter if I have a good game on it, a bad game. You know, the way the map is terrible. Nivelle Nights I can tolerate, but it's still not my favorite. This map, you know, it's just, I don't really know. I feel like a lot of blending in is done on this map. It's really kind of hard to find teams on here sometimes. It's really hard to explain unless you played the game. But so in my opinion, after my pretty fair and honest opinion of what my thoughts on the two maps, I'm gonna rate them now. So in terms of my favorite to least favorite, I'm gonna rank them from Achi Baba to Heligoland Bight to Cape Helles or Cape Helles, however you want to fucking say it. I think it's Cape Helles, and then Zeebrugge. That's just how that's just how it is. Honestly, as much of a meat grinder as Achi Baba is, I enjoy that map a lot. I don't know what it is, but that map is just fun to play. There's so many flanking routes. You really have to outsmart teams sometimes to get to their back caps. It's kind of insane in a way. As you can see, me being the best medic ever right here, and there's a reason I call myself that. I mean, look at this one clip I have. It's continuous for a reason, because look how fucking good I am as a team there. I'm reviving people and giving people health. I don't know if I did much shooting in this. I really haven't paid attention to the clip that much to know. But yeah. So anyway, folks, that has been my honest opinion of Turning Tides as a whole, as well as the two maps that were released last week. If you disagree with me or agree with me, please mention it in the comment section down below. And how do you think DICE handled the whole situation with this DLC in particular? I know I kind of went off overall on how they've treated the DLCs in this game, and believe me when I tell you, next DLC will be no different. But that's just it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. Let me know, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments section. And you know what? What are your favorite maps of this deal of Turning Tides? Least favorite to favorite, favorite to least favorite. I don't really care. Anyway, see you guys on the next upload. Hope you have a good day. Later.